Notorious, so notorious.
It's Friday night, and the posse's back. Deep dives, local vibes, and headlines that matter, or totally don't. So crack a beer, crank it up. This is the NFNP. The Jamaica bobsled team. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a true story, you know.
I did not
Is it
actually.
really?
Yeah, it's a true story, absolutely. And so if you ever fly into Jamaica, the airport has all kinds. They got a whole bar and restaurant dedicated to the Jamaican bobsled team, and yeah.
Did they win?
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's the movie is I think relatively true into the sense of like how it happened and what happened, but like John Candy's character is completely made up, and you know, so of course,
Well, they didn't have a
like,
coach.
well, they did, but it wasn't this eccentric cheater from the United States that, you know,
Hilarious.
right, hilarious. Yeah, I don't know. So, but
The Jamaican
you know,
bobsled team.
it's a great movie, and you know, it's probably time. I don't know if my kids are quite old enough.
Yeah.
You
but-
gotta watch
one
out
maybe,
for
but-
those 80s and 90s movies,
yeah.
because the PG in the
Mm.
80s and 90s is not
Different.
the same.
Right.
Mhm,
It's a little
mhm.
bit different. Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the movie in 20 years?
No, and that's the
Yeah,
problem.
right.
Is you
I mean, yeah, you
I
forget,
haven't.
right?
you
No,
forget,
yeah.
and then you turn it
Yeah.
on, and you're like, oh, probably shouldn't be watching this.
Well, I turned on this morning. I turned on Henry Danger. Frankie wanted to watch it. It had a PG rating on Netflix for kids. I was like, it looks innocent enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I turn it on. I'm like getting breakfast ready. And one of the girls on the show says, I don't know. It makes me feel like I want to kill myself.
So
Wow.
you
And
like
of course it was
That's,
meant sarcastically,
Sure.
but these kids are 8, 9 years old, 10 years old in the show, and my 3-year-old's watching it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this?
yeah.
You know,
Interesting.
ugh. And then they're both really into Buffy right now, which,
Yeah.
of course, you guys know that I am.
Mm.
But
Of course.
they want to watch it. So I'm like
Mm,
trying to
yeah.
find these episodes that are relatively tame.
Mm.
And
How do
mainly
they
the
even know
sex.
about it?
Well, they have a book. I bought them a Buffy book, and it's meant for kids. And
So you introduced it to them, and now they
Yeah.
want more.
yeah.
See?
And then like at one point I was like, let's watch the TV show, and I picked like one for Kat, and then Frankie was all into it,
Mm.
and of course Catalina. And now they want to like watch the episodes,
Mm.
and of course they can't watch them all. But
Yeah.
I'll be like, okay, this one's safe.
Yeah.
And then there'll be something in there that's
Yeah.
not, or I won't consider the previously on, you know, and then
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
do that, and then they'll show Spike and Buffy, you know, doing it, and I'm like, oh my god, you know, oops.
What am I doing?
Oops.
Like the episode was fine, it was the previously on that got me, but they're not scared of it at all. Like Frankie, he is not scared of anything. It's weird.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's
Kat, she's a nervous Nelly with that stuff.
What
Did you guys
was
see
the?
that? Did we talk about that last night? That dog that ran out there at the end of that cross country skiing, the women's. Did you see that one?
No, I don't think
Uh-uh.
so.
It was like a hybrid wolf dog, literally. Like I saw it on TV. I don't know if it was live when I saw it, but I was like, "What is this?" I thought it was like a wolf or a coyote at first for a second. I was like, "What the
Right.
crap is it?" And it was somebody who lives around there. I guess maybe they were at the Olympics. I don't know. And it got away from them and just ran out
Really?
onto the track and started running down and actually finished across the finish line. And the people who
Wow.
were skiing like
Gold
right there
medal.
were kind of like, what's going on? Is this a
Right,
coyote? Is it
right.
going to attack me? Nah, I was just smelling them and then walked away.
You know what?
gotta
The
fly.
Olympics do bring some drama. I'm not even up to date on all of it, but I was reading something about somebody came out and they were like, I cheated. I'm a cheater. You know?
Really?
No kidding.
Huh.
I guess. Somebody always gets busted with PEDs after the fact. Usually it's the Russians, but they're not in this Olympics. You know, they
Yeah, that's
weren't
right,
they
yeah.
weren't
They're
allowed
banned.
to participate,
Yeah.
or they chose to sit out. I'm
I
not
think they're
sure.
banned, I think, but I don't know for what reason
Because- yeah.
specifically because
Because
of
they're
the
warmongers.
yeah,
Yeah.
by the
yeah,
war.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Now
By
I think
that
in
whole
Pa-
global war thing.
right. I think in past Olympics, though, their athletes have been able to participate as
Yeah.
independent, but I'm not seeing that this year. So
I didn't notice any specifically, but yeah.
right, I don't know. Well,
I don't
the
know. Do you think they
U.S.
should be allowed to or not?
What's the point of being in the Olympics if you're not representing a country? If you're
Kinda.
No,
just,
I mean, like, do you think Russia, even if they're in
Oh.
war, should be able to send a team? Like,
I mean, it's
should
kind
the
of
Olympics
interesting.
be
Yeah.
separate from?
if
Right.
you're the
The
aggressors
geopolitical
in a war, I mean, I think it's up to the committee or whatever it would
Who
be,
is that?
right?
The UN?
So,
What? Huh?
I don't know. Like they
The
probably
Olympic
take some
Committee
kind
is
of
like one of the
poll.
most corrupt committees out in the
Yeah, I
world.
know. You know
It's
what?
crazy.
All of these international FIFA's corrupt.
All of 'em.
You know, they're
Really?
they're all corrupt.
Huh.
Yeah, the World Health
The
Organization,
globalists,
NATO.
Yeah.
UN,
Yeah,
everything.
right.
We need to get out of all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that is an international organization, it's all just a
Yeah.
money grab. It seems like it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sticking with the Olympics, the U.S. women had a big the
heard
hockey
about
team
that.
had a big
Oh.
win today. I had it on actually. And it's not like I watch a lot of women's hockey, but this was pretty good.
I
It
heard
was a
that they
good
had
game.
a comeback, and then
Well, the goal that we gave up was bad. We were on the power play, gave up a short-handed goal on a 2-on-1, so that hurt.
What
And
was
then
the
we
score
couldn't.
time?
We were 0-0.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
That was in the second period, I think. And then we scored with about a minute left in the game, minute and a half maybe. We pulled our goalie, got the goal. Then it goes into overtime. And I guess because it's the gold medal game, they do traditional, 5-on-5, another period,
Okay. Gotcha.
golden goal, first goal wins,
Mhm.
and we won.
Yeah.
So, but like the men the other day went to a 3-on-3 overtime, which I was like, that's a heartbreaking way to get
Yeah.
eliminated. Now, luckily we won after
Yeah.
giving up a goal with a minute left,
Well, yeah.
And Canada did the same. There was a bunch of overtime games the other day.
so where
Yeah.
do we stand in the brackets? What's going
We're
on
in
there?
the brackets are done. Now we're into the elimination. So we're in the semifinals tomorrow. I think
Who
we
we playing?
play Slovakia, I think.
Oh, we should beat them, right?
Yeah. I mean, we should, but Sweden, I mean, and they're a good team. We barely beat them, so I think at this point, the teams are going to be good. They're going to be like NHL playoff games.
Mhm.
I think we're the favorite, at least until the gold medal match. And then you'd probably say Canada is the favorite, but who doesn't want a
It'd
rematch?
be nice for the men to beat the Canada too, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we need a rematch of the Four Nations Cup that we had last year, which we beat them in the round robin play, but then they beat us in overtime in the final. And that was the one where Jordan Binnington just came up huge and made all of
Yeah.
these saves in overtime to keep
Damn
Canada in
you.
it. And then they eventually won. I know, right? So that's the thing. It was like I was rooting for Team USA, but it was pretty cool to see
Yeah.
Jordan Binnington get the the big moment. So
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say something else about. Oh, how you shared that video the other day where that guy crossed the finish line backwards when he was skiing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
somebody
that was
did. Yeah,
Was that
nuts.
was that from this year or past?
yeah. No, this year I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was another incident where some guy was it skating? I don't know. It was another sport where he crossed the finish line backwards also, and I think he won. I don't know what it was now, but I was like, "What's the chances of this here?"
Yeah,
what's going on?
yeah. I can see it was.
Well, it was
speed
an accident.
skating.
They kind of just, happened,
Right.
and they
Well, did you
luckily
see
pulled it off.
that downhill skier? How out of control he was.
But yeah,
Man, it
he
was
got lucky.
crazy. Like
I don't
when
know
he
how
landed
he
that
hit
one,
that ramp and did a backflip, and he
I
was
think they
doing
were
like
supposed to do a
sideways
flip,
backflip.
but he was doing it like sideways. Yeah, like I said,
It
backwards
hits the
ish.
ground, bounces up backwards, and skis across
Yeah.
the finish line. It's crazy.
Now
You
we
wouldn't think-
can't pull it up for our
No.
viewers because they'll ban us or
It's
whatever.
those
Yeah.
globalists in the Olympic.
Yeah, I think that cost
Trademark.
us some viewers last week because I didn't have it up on YouTube for about 3 days because we got censored. It was still
Yeah.
up on Spotify because I hadn't uploaded the video portion of it yet.
Mm.
So they still played it. So, but I think it did cost us some listeners.
Mm.
What are you
Yeah,
what are you
I
gonna
did
do?
listen to it, and it sounded like all the videos and stuff played pretty well. So
Yeah, no, I think that worked good. I did eventually. I just cut the video of the Olympics. I was gonna keep the sound on and then just cut the video, but it got kind
Yeah.
of choppy, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut that whole segment of it. So whatever.
Yeah.
a couple things that we need to do today, and we talked about it last night. So for our listeners, we had a guys' night last night, which was good and fun, and hopefully we didn't talk about all of our podcast stuff last night, and we saved some stuff for today. But we need to shorten it up a little bit, right? We've been, I think, the last 4 episodes in a row, each one has gotten longer and longer.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know if we set a timer and we just say, hey, when the timer goes off, we're done, or if we just make a good old fashioned attempt at wrapping this up somewhere.
Try and
I think
keep it
anywhere
under
between
90,
60 to 90 minutes, I think, is the sweet spot. I don't know that we're
yeah.
ever going to get like under 60. I remember the very first podcast that we did, Duds, when it was me, you, and Teach. I think we got it in at somewhere around 45 minutes or something.
Really?
We didn't
The
know what
pilot,
we were doing. The pilot, yeah. We were just. I think
Pilot's
what did I
always
title?
rough. You always have characters, that they don't ever end up in the
That's
main
true.
show.
Right. Yeah. That was Teach for sure.
We
I've
still
asked
need to
her a
have a
couple
good
times. I'm
guest.
like, hey, can I hop on?
Yeah.
Hop in for a cameo,
Yeah. We do need a guest at some point. Guest is what brings credibility to a podcast. And if you can get somebody of consequence, then people are going to follow the guest.
There you go.
Then all of a sudden they're going to be like, I don't know about these NFNP guys, but this podcast is pretty good. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, who we got? Didn't you say there was some guy following you who was a celebrity?
Yeah, the Jose Bautista. Yeah. He follows me on X. 1 or 2 hockey players.
You.
Yeah.
He's really concerned in what's going on.
I don't know. I need to try and get the story of the year guys or something.
Oh, yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
You already made a bad impression the first time, though. Remember?
Redeem yourself.
Remember that because I was too drunk.
Weren't you that guy trying to tell us how to play music?
Well, I did write a review of the concert, and actually I had that in the Local of the Lou segment, but I did. I put it up on the blog. If anybody wants to go check out my review of the album release party for
like
Arson. Oh yeah. The new album's pretty sweet. It's still heavy, but also there's a lot of songs on there that sound like early 2000s,
Really?
punk, emo punk. Which they've gotten away from that a little bit, I think, over the last album or two. But this one gets a little bit more. I don't know.
Maybe I'll give it a listen. See how it is.
Yeah. There's some good songs on there. Disconnected is definitely my favorite. Gasoline is probably one of the heavier ones. Yeah. I really like 3 a.m. Halos. There's one other one.
Don't you like them all? I mean, you kind of
eventually you listen to them enough and you're like, all right, but it was kind of crazy because they played a couple of the songs for the first time ever live. And everybody there knew all the words, even though most of these songs either got released on Friday because there are only a couple of them were singles. Disconnected and Gasoline were out, but the rest of the album, you couldn't listen to those songs until Friday. So I think people, as was I, and even the kids, and we were just listening to the album a couple of times. And by the time the concert came around, I think they played 5 or 6 songs off the new album, which is, one, it's an album release party, so you probably should do that.
Right.
2, you're in St. Louis, you're in your hometown, so you're in a market that's going to support you.
Sure.
I think if you went and you did that in another city, Chicago or New York or something, people are going to be like, you didn't play enough of the old stuff, right?
Yeah.
But they still played like 4 or 5 songs off of Page Avenue.
So how does a band like Story make their money now? Do they still release albums like CDs? Do people do CDs still?
I thought about bringing it down actually.
Records,
I didn't do it. I bought the vinyl. Vinyl. Yeah. So
I'm guessing a lot of it is through streaming like Spotify, right?
Yeah, so they'll definitely make money, but I don't think they make a lot of money through Spotify. So it's definitely the album, and the merch and the tour. And they do pretty good. Like I told you guys, I think I went and saw them up in New York City that one time. I didn't really know what to expect. I know when I go see them here, hometown guys, place is packed, but up in New York City, sold out. You know, I was talking to this guy behind us. He's like, "Oh, I just, I've never seen him live before. I'm so excited." And when I told him it was at the time my 12th or 13th time seeing him, he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Well, I'm from St. Louis, and but that was pretty cool to see. Like, okay, these guys really, and of course, back in '03 when Page Avenue was released, I mean, they were pretty big time. Until the Day I Die was huge. Sidewalks was on One Tree Hill, which is a huge show at the time. The Story of the Year, Story of the Year poster was on One Tree Hill in Lucas's bedroom. So, they were on the national and international stage back then. So it's great to see that they're still playing, what do you call them? Festivals and stuff like that. Yeah. So not always as the headliner per se, but.
So they've been around for 20, 25 years?
Well, 2003 was their first official album. So we'd put them at 23 close. Years right now. Yeah. Now they took that big hiatus, right? So they put out those first 3 albums and then took a big hiatus until 2015 when they got back. That wouldn't have been 2015. 2013. I think they got back together probably after a 7-year hiatus or something like that. Yeah.
It's a little break.
Yeah.
They all had families, and they're going through that stage of their life, and that was kind of cool at the very end when they were doing "Until the Day I Die." Of course, it was the last song. They all brought out their kids, and some of them were playing guitar, others were singing. So that's
cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Do they all live in St. Louis, or do they move away?
They do now, I think. Adam the Skull, the bass player. He actually came back to the band when they kicked out Moon, because they kicked out Moon when he was having his issues with Eric Greitens doing his wife. And so Moon was.
Did you hear that story, Dudley, or not?
I don't think I heard that. No.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, Moon's on the radio, obviously. He was in Story. He was in Greek Fire. So pretty good presence. Yeah, Goldfinger. We talked about that a little bit last week or whatever. But pretty good presence here in St. Louis. And it was anonymous at the time, but eventually it got leaked, but basically he ratted out Eric Greitens, as he should have, because Eric Greitens was running for governor at the time, and he had been banging Moon's wife.
So that was the affair that Greitens was having.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And it was Moon that brought it when he uncovered it. He brought it to the media. And then, of course, eventually Eric Greitens had to drop out, and he had all.
And then the band, I think, said, it's not good for them.
Didn't Greitens win? I thought he won.
I don't think so.
And then he had to resign.
Maybe that was it.
Oh,
Maybe that was it. He won and then had to resign.
Took over. Yeah.
Yeah. That is right. Yep. Had to resign. But yeah, and then I think Story was just kind of fed up with. I don't know the true story. Obviously, it's just hearsay.
Yeah.
But he was obsessed kind of with that whole situation, and either it was interfering with,
or it's just bad in general, like what do you call it, connotation or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. So they booted him. So I went to that show and saw Moon play, and then that was it. And then they brought back Adam the Skull, who was also in the band originally. They were a 5-member band. Moon was a lead guitarist, and then when they came back in 2013, he switched to bass, and then they kicked him out. They brought in Adam the Skull, as they call him.
I wondered if they'd ever bring him back. Moon.
Yeah, I'm still hopeful for that, but Moon might resent it a little too much.
Maybe.
But enough time goes by. He's in a good place. He's remarried and still making music. He said that they're going to start doing new Greek Fire again, which Greek Fire's been on a big hiatus. And they got some good songs, and they got some Big Hero 6 when that came out. Was it On Top of the World or no? That was the movie. The movie Big Hero 6.
Oh, okay. I don't know the movie, but that song sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It's a kid cartoon movie.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. But that a Disney Pixar movie, and they were one of the main songs. So they've done well too. So we'll see.
Well, anyhow, we always could get Lamar Burton maybe on the show.
LeVar Burton? Who are we talking about?
LeVar, yes, sir.
Yes, LeVar. The Reading Rainbow guy?
Rainbow?
Well, sure, yeah.
He was Geordie LaForge on Star Trek.
Geordie LaForge, that's right. That's right. Yeah, with
he's on Big Bang
visor.
sometimes. He's been on there a couple times. I don't know if you've seen the episode.
Yeah, I think so.
I've
seen all
After
the Big
watching him
Bang
on
stuff.
Star Trek, seeing him without the little thing on his eyes was always weird.
That's weird. Yeah. Well, when they did the movies, they eventually got rid of the visor and he had contacts, and that was weird too.
Did he have like white eyes or something? Like
they put in like these white robotic contacts, exactly. But he probably was just fed up with it. He was like, guys, I don't want to wear that anymore. People don't know who I am. Let them see my face. He probably wrote it into his contract. Figure this out.
Yeah.
It was fine for TV, but not for movies. I'm a movie star now.
Yeah, movie star.
All right. Well, if anybody wants to go check out my review, you can find it on the blog at nfnppod.com.
There you go. There's your local on the loo.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, I have another local. That was just one little part of it. Okay, well, let's start with our main topic, which I was all over the place again. I asked you guys. I was like, I don't freaking know. There's not like enough to just dedicate to one thing. So I pulled out those 3 stories, and let's do it a little bit faster than we did last week. And we'll just do a little chit chat on them. So I've got food, phones, and property. Those are the 3 main topics. So the first one, this is kind of hit the news cycle over the last week or so, is ultra processed foods.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how much of our caloric intake is actually these ultra processed foods. And so I looked it up. 52 to 54% of all the calories we consume on any given day is ultra processed. And
so that's the average American?
Correct. And for kids, it's even higher. It's like 60%, which makes sense, I guess, because, I mean,
it's
giving your kid, it's easy, right? Frozen taquitos.
Might be cheaper.
Mac and cheese from a carton.
All the treats, all the little snacks,
Yeah. Fruit snacks, yogurt pouches that never go bad.
It's funny you were talking about this because our priest is looking at changing out their the food for the school menu, because it's disgusting. You take a look at it. I mean, the menu is gross. It's just that it's all that processed,
Yeah.
Garbage.
Well, I remember Salisbury steak and Salisbury steak. That's what we had.
What is that?
Nobody knows.
Mystery meat. Yeah.
Yes.
Ultra processed.
Processed mystery meat.
Yeah. And they say, so basically all of these ultra processed stuff, it's the food dyes, the things that, extend the shelf life, and more or less it's what's causing cancer rates to go up, and dementia to go up, fatty liver, diabetes.
The dyes, the food colorings, they're not in other countries.
Yeah. Well, they talk about like bread. They like go to Paris and have bread, and of course it tastes better, or go to Italy and have pasta. It's all good, and those people eat it every day, and they're still thin. But if you go buy bread in Paris, it goes bad in 2 days. You buy bread here somehow it lasts for 14 days. Certain bread. If you buy it from the bakery, not as much, but bunny bread, any of those, like even like white bread isn't even a thing really.
It's enriched flour.
We get the Dave's Killer bread now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have you seen that?
I don't, not specifically.
It's supposed to be better, like better quality ingredients. It doesn't have all that garbage in it.
Well, it's not white, I would assume.
No, it has white. They have a white bread. They have like it's like a whole white or a whole wheat white bread. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
But all of them are supposed to have a lot less of the processed stuff in them. So we actually you keep them in the fridge because they'll go bad in like a couple days.
Well, we freeze all of our bread, and it has to go in the toaster, and so it's a different kind of sandwich. I was at my mom's house this was a while ago, but she made me a sandwich with soft bread, just like a turkey sandwich. I was like, damn, this is good.
I know. It is.
You like the soft because you don't have it?
Yeah, because I never have soft bread because we always freeze it because otherwise it goes bad too long. And then, then you got to put it in the toaster. And then
that's funny because I like toasted stuff, like a sandwich. I like a sandwich versus a cold myself. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of the times for sure. Yeah. Of course,
so now do you remember? Go ahead.
No, you go.
Okay. Do you remember, like, when we were kids, we knew that there was specifically like yellow 5 in Mountain Dew.
Yes, yeah. And
So
there was all those rumors back then that it screwed up your sperm count,
exactly.
and we were worried
And
about that as 8th graders.
but we still drank the Mountain Dew.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I think they came out and eventually said that like that's not a thing. It was just a stupid rumor that grade school kids had.
Right. So we were all aware of the dyes and the food
Yeah.
colorings and stuff.
Yeah.
But so when do you think all this changed?
Well, I think I don't know. I think they probably have enough data now to see these crazy spikes in diabetes and fatty liver and whatever it may be, and they're clearly attributing some of that to to
Diet.
all these diet. And of course, now that there's the other aspect of this is that RFK has flipped the food pyramid upside down, and that's where I was going to go is we talked about it a little bit last night, and you too, Dudley, you've been doing it longer, but I changed up my diet back in December, and the big thing right now is certainly high protein, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I basically eliminated carbs from my diet. So I'm not even having bread anymore. I barely have pizza, which is probably the hardest part for everything. Sometimes I'll do a wrap, but now I'm buying like the low carb tortillas, and I bought some little mini pizza things that are high protein, low carbs, so that I could make an individual pizza. And I'm trying to even increase. So on average, I'm having about 100 to 120, I think, grams of protein a day. And now I'm supposed to bump that up. Now that I've lost some weight, I've lost 26 pounds. I need to get up to 140, 160 grams of protein. And I had about 100, maybe 120 today. And I can't eat anymore. Right.
Yeah.
Like I am stuffed. I had tuna and hard boiled eggs. And then for dinner, I had turkey breast and veggies. And I'm like, I can't eat anymore.
So I think the consensus among the like fitness community and that is that the grams of protein that you intake per day is supposed to be about what the weight you want to be. So if you want to be 200 pounds, 200 grams of protein is your goal. I know, and it's a ton, man. That's a lot of protein.
Yeah.
So I don't ever get that.
No, I don't see how you could, unless, I mean,
if you're eating all meals,
you'd have to be doing a lot of workouts. Right. I'm also doing the intermittent fasting, so I'm doing just 2 meals a day, maybe with an afternoon snack in there. So at 12 o'clock lunch on average, and then a 6:30 dinner on average, maybe a 3 or 4 o'clock snack. Right.
You know what your daily requirement of carbs is?
Well, is there a requirement? Because I'm usually at about like 7 grams or less.
Yeah, it's actually 0. There's
okay.
The daily required amount is 0. You don't need any carbs.
You don't need any carbs. Right. Mm-hmm. All right. Good.
Yeah, it's the only macro that you don't need. Technically, you could live the longest just eating fat, but who's going to eat pure fat? So you're going to have protein with the fat, but you don't have to have any carbs in your diet to sustain yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and see, that's the other thing about this all protein, or, mostly protein. It fills you up more than carbs do. You don't overeat. Right. You don't overeat. And even like I'm stuffed, and I have to go look up what my macros are for the day, but I bet you it's somewhere around like 1,600 calories. Right. Like that's where I'm maxing out. Like, unless I'm going out, like yesterday we had chicken wings, and I checked my macros with lunch and even included my beer, and they were like, probably like 2,100 calories for the day. And like, that's probably break even for me. Anything under that amount, and I'm in a deficit now. Right. So, which obviously I've been losing weight, but now I want to sustain, and I want to put on some muscle. So it's like high protein, stick with the low carbs. I bet you all of my stuff improves. I'm going to have to go back to the doctor here soon, but sure, my blood pressure's improved. My cholesterol's probably improved. And you know what? It wasn't that hard. It's just a little bit of dedication, especially during the week. I'm still drinking, definitely less than I was.
Sure.
Now I don't know if I'm where I'm at with these ultra processed foods. Like I had a can of tuna today, which, all right, high protein, you consider pretty healthy, but is it ultra processed to extend the shelf life? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I don't
You
think
don't think
that
so?
I don't think the canned fish is going to be ultra processed. That's not considered ultra processed. I think it has to be
Right.
more than like 4 ingredients or something like that in it.
Right.
So all your canned, fishes and meats are going to be fine. And,
Right.
anything in the produce, any single ingredient foods are
Yeah,
obviously
sure.
not going to be
Yeah.
processed. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's
Well, the other big thing, I'm trying to cut out anything with added sugars.
correct.
If it has added sugars, I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Gone.
It's just pretty much gone. I've cut it out. Ketchup, I've gone to zero sugar ketchup. And
Look
even
up
still, I barely use
Primal
any.
Primal Kitchen.
Primal Kitchen.
They make the condiments, all the good condiments. They're all the
Okay.
keto friendly ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I think
mostly I do mustard and hot sauce because there's no
Mustard,
calories,
yeah.
no
Right.
carbs, and
Yeah.
they're good. I even found a honey mustard that's only 5 calories. Right. So
you're just starting to go down this rabbit hole.
Oh, I
Yeah.
think I'm down it. So that the
Yeah.
only thing that I really need to do now is kick up my workout game. I think I have changed my eating habits have changed, and not that I'm never going to have a burger or pizza.
Sure.
Of course I am. And at
Yeah.
some point, like you kind of said it last night, you can eat whatever you want, but you just don't do it all the time.
Right.
If you're going to go out, have
Everything
that
in
double
moderation.
cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But then the next day you kind of get back on the horse. And so I think I have changed. I've gone down that rabbit hole. I'm doing the high protein thing. What I need to do is the workout that goes along with it.
Yes.
And, I'm not as dedicated as you are, nor do I have the time to go to the gym. So I do some workouts here. Is that enough? How much, what am I going to see? Of course, we're also 42. So I'm not going to turn into a bodybuilder, and I'm not looking to do that. But
Yeah.
do I want to look good at the beach? Sure. Do I,
something easy that everybody can do is just walking. Honestly.
Yeah, I need to do more of that, mainly because of work. I sit here, and of course now even my extracurriculars podcasting, just
That's
sitting
once a week.
here. Yeah. So there are
45
times,
minutes to an
obviously,
hour
but
of walking
yeah,
a day.
yeah,
That's a lot for most people that don't walk hardly at all.
for sure,
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah,
sure.
sure.
But it's still hard to find that time between work, the kids, especially when it's not nice outside. If it's
Yeah.
nice, it's
Nice
a little
thing
bit
is
easier.
you can take like a call potentially.
Well, 100%.
On a
Yeah.
walk.
Well,
So.
you know what I do if I am on the phone? So if it's a Teams meeting and I'm in front of my computer, I'm in front of my computer. But if I'm on the phone, I literally just walk around my basement, just in circles. Yeah,
I
that's
think
what
a
I do.
lot of people
Just-
do that
yeah.
actually just in general when they're on the phone. Like, I don't know what it is, like nerves
Yeah.
or something, or I don't know, but like everybody does that.
Helps you think.
Yeah,
Is that what
it does. It's probably has something to do with that. and
Stimulates
I
your
do that at
brain.
work sometimes. My boss will do it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I
and-
stand at work too. That's another thing is a
Yeah.
I
standing
stand
desk.
sometimes.
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
I had something like that. I don't.
I'm constantly up and down. Actually, I am. But
Yeah. I need to be
So the
better.
other thing you need to look at too, other than exercise, I think 3 to 4 days a week, if you could try to do like some
push-ups, curls,
some kind of resistance training.
Yeah.
But then you also got to look at the seed oils. That's another thing to get into.
Okay.
Oh, the soybean oil and the
Yeah.
what is the other ones? The sunflower oil.
I have
the
sunflower
safflower
oil. Yeah. To
But all
use
that
that
stuff
for
that-
cooking, you mean, instead of
No.
olive oil, or what?
No, you don't want to. You want to stay away from the seed oils.
okay,
They're
Oh,
bad.
gotcha.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Those would be considered like an ultra processed item, and they're
Right.
some of the worst. They're very inflammatory.
Right.
So
Yeah.
avocado oil
Yeah.
is a good replacement. Olive oil is a good replacement, or beef
Okay.
tallow.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yes,
you go to
I've been
Steak and
doing the
Shake
beef
now-
tallow stuff. Yeah, we've talked
Yeah.
about this, I think, on the podcast already.
Maybe.
The beef tallow fries. Yeah.
Steak
yeah.
and Shake is
Yeah.
paving the way. They're the ones laying the trail for
And that
everybody
was
to follow.
another big RFK thing. Even when he was running for president, and then when he was like,
Mhm.
beef tallow fries, he's like, that's the easiest thing. Why are we cooking all the stuff with oil? I think I don't even think he loves olive oil.
No,
which-
olive oil I would say is better than
but
the
here's
seed oils.
here's the
Beef
thing. I
tallow
would
would be the
agree.
best.
But is all olive oil the same? I bet you it's
well,
not.
no,
I bet you
Unfortunately,
if you
it's
go to
not.
Costco and you get that big thing of olive oil,
Yeah.
I bet you that's a lot different than
Yeah.
the olive
True.
oil you're getting at some
There's
fancy grocery
actually
store that
some
comes in a little
issues
thing.
with olive oil too, not being 100%,
Yeah, sure, exactly.
olive oil coming in
Mhm.
from wherever. They say
Yeah, I
it's
think I've heard this.
100% extra
Yeah,
virgin olive oil, and it's not. It's mixed with
right,
other stuff.
right. Yeah,
I've started frying the food in beef tallow. I think it tastes better
yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
goes a long way. Like, one
Sure.
jar of it lasts
Yeah,
forever.
yeah, yeah.
Somebody said
Nice.
that that whole Steak and Shake thing, I guess that was kind of like newer, but they were saying they've actually been using that for like years before, but like it wasn't a big thing, so nobody
They're
really
just
cared or knew what it
promoting it
was.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't know if Steak and Shake had always been doing that or not. I
I
know
mean, I think
that
it's been like
recently they
years.
had talked about it, that they maybe went back to it, but McDonald's used to use beef
And
tallow
they
for
got
their
away
fries,
from it, right?
and they went to peanut oil or whatever that they use now.
Well, they
So,
also used to make real milkshakes, and then they went to the powdered
but
Mm,
milkshakes,
all
because it's cheaper.
what's the cause of exactly? It's
yeah.
all
Yeah,
about the money.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
we live in a fiat economy, and it lends itself to having to substitute lesser quality ingredients that are cheaper, that kind of make this thing taste similar to what it was, but you're still
Hmm.
getting a much lower quality
They still have
item.
good
right,
fries though.
right. For
You
sure.
think if they were in
I
beef
mean,
tallow, they'd
They
be better.
taste good, right?
well, it's
Well,
possible.
so to wrap up this topic, that is one of the things that they're saying about these ultra processed stuff is that they pretty much put it in the hands of the whatever people making the food suppliers, and they're using these dyes and ingredients to make us addicted to the food. Whether it's the bright color of Fruit Loops
Hmm. Marketing.
or the added sugars. And then basically what they said it does is that it rewires your brain that you want more of it.
Sure.
And then before you know it, you're eating it all the time, and now your whole body is effed.
High fructose corn syrup's another bad
Yes,
one.
high fructose corn syrup. Yeah, yeah.
That is literally the way
Everything.
that high fructose corn syrup is made is a similar processing as the way like cocaine is made. Like, you're
Mhm.
taking something and you're ultra processing it. Coca plant that the cocaine's made from is not bad. You ultra process it and you condense it down into the cocaine is bad for you, right? They do the same thing with the sugars out of the corn, right? They're ultra processing this into high fructose corn syrup, just like a drug. There's no nutrients in it, and it's
Right.
highly addictive, right? It
Yeah.
tastes like sugar,
Yeah.
and the sugar
And
is what is addictive to your
and
brain.
why did
It's
they do that? They probably did it for the American farmers and,
big
to support
sugar,
them.
big
Big
sugar.
sugar. Yeah,
Mhm.
I tell you.
Big ag,
All
big
right.
sugar they've gotten in there. Hey, I do want to
Uh,
touch a little bit
I
more
think
on
so.
that though,
okay.
because
Yeah, go for it.
we were talking about this at work. I was talking to one of my employees about it, and how, like, the yellow, even the colors, like, that's a fiat thing, right? They're trying to keep the costs looking like the products are going up at a smaller inflation than they actually are, right? So the way that CPI, Consumer Price Index, works, it's got a basket of consumer goods, right? And in
Mhm.
that, say, uh, in the one of the books that I listened to, he compares it to, say you earn $15 a day and you require 1 pound of beef a day to sustain your life, right?
Mhm.
And that 1 pound of beef costs $10, and you're fine, you're going along fine. But all of a sudden, something happens where beef prices go up for whatever reason, right? And they go up to, maybe now that 1 pound of beef costs $50, right? Well,
Well, that's a pretty
if
big jump.
I know this is an example, but they can
Yeah.
Okay.
take a substitute. If they have a soy burger, right,
Mhm.
or a soy steak, or
Yeah.
vegetarian steak that they've
Right.
created in a lab,
Mhm.
and they can sell that to you for $11 or $12 a pound,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
right, or 10.50.
No,
Then they
sure.
can say they've replaced it. They can just replace these components, and they can say, okay, look, the inflation is actually only 5%. When in reality, the same product that you were eating has gone up 500%. So that's how they're messing with the inflation rates, and people don't
Right.
even realize it.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you see an inflation rate that's advertised when it comes out, it's 2.7%, 2.6. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a complete lie.
Right.
They've
Hmm.
been replacing these components over the years, and they've been lying to us. And the
Yeah.
real inflation is pegged at or the true inflation is probably anywhere from 9 to 15% on average per year. And
Yeah.
people don't even realize that.
Right. Well, and that's how people like us get priced out of the market. Because generally, I think we'd all consider ourselves middle class, working class. We're not rich. We're not high up on the executive scales or anything like that. And we get our standard raise every year, and it's never enough to keep up. And then you have a year like 2020 or 2021 where inflation is definitely 20%.
They can't even keep it under control.
No, right.
Can't
And
even
guess
lie.
what? That year you don't even get a raise because nobody's business did good enough. And then
you're doing
the
good to
next
keep
year
your job.
you get 3 or 4%. Well, now you're behind so much, you're never going to be able to play catch up. All right, I got well, that rolls right into our next topic, which is property taxes.
All right.
But I do want to say sidebar real quick about, you were talking about the soy stuff. Don't ever buy the manager's special ground beef at the grocery store. Or sometimes they'll call it a different thing. They'll call it I don't remember what it is.
Price
Basically what they do is they'll take the steaks that are like, a day from going expired or sell by date, and then they put them all together and ground them all up, and then they put a new sticker on them and put them out on for like another week or whatever. And no longer do they look
yet.
Right. Yeah. So never buy the manager's special.
You know this because you worked in the butcher at
I worked at the butcher
store.
I heard years and years ago that there was a conspiracy going on too with all the ground beef and the meats in the stores, and they were like injecting them somehow with oxygen to make them redder.
I think that is a thing.
And they probably still do it. Yeah. But it's to make them look more appealing to you, even though they're probably not.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what they do with the manager's special. They take these brown, steaks that have been on the shelf for 4 days, and then they maybe mix them in with some good stuff. And when it comes out all packaged, it looks newly packaged, new sticker, brighter color, and then you put it on sale, and people were like, "Oh, ground prime steak." Whatever, or manager special, and they're like, "Oh, this is great." Yeah, no.
Don't
stay away from that. Yeah. All right. So property taxes. So this has also been in the news, and Duds, you gave us a great segue with your fiat inflationary system and consumer price index and all that stuff.
They're robbing us.
I know. Well, we're in that season where
taxes.
Yeah, all that stuff is coming up, right? Yeah. You have to pay your escrow shortage. I was talking to my brother the other day. He had a big escrow shortage because they revalued his house and bumped it up an absurd amount. And so now the property taxes have gone up, and now the mortgage company has padded that even more to make sure he has enough to cover. So he has to pay even not only enough to reach that amount, but then extra, and then even mine, which I pay extra into my escrow, they still bump mine up, and my mortgage is going up $200 every month now.
Mine actually went down this year because I got mine went up last year because I was short on the escrow because I changed.
All right, so your payment went down, but your property taxes didn't.
Yeah, I think the last 2 years
you just
changed
had
homeowners insurance. Well, they ended up paying the homeowners insurance twice each year.
Yeah.
So what do? Well, they don't think about it. They don't take the money back. They send you a check. So I got the check, and then there was a shortage. So then they bumped up the payments for the next year.
Right. Yeah.
So this year it actually went down. So
I think my bosses went down.
Nice.
I think our escrow was short. It wasn't crazy amount, but is it better to pay the lump sum or just average it out every month?
I mean, might as well let them average it. Why not?
Yeah. It just depends on your situation, I guess. But it's annoying. And every time you do think, "Oh, I'm getting ahead. I'm getting a little raise at work," but
take it.
Everybody takes it. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Mortgage went up. My kids' swim lessons going up. Daycare prices going up. Everybody increases their prices this time of year, or at the end of the year, at the end of the school season or the end of the summer, whenever. It's gonna happen. Everybody's gonna raise their prices, and then all of that money, you think that you're like, "Oh, I just got this raise." No, you didn't.
No,
It's gone. It's gone. And then
Yeah,
if you live in New York City, you're going to have somebody like Mamdani who's going to raise your property taxes 9.5% is what he's trying to do. I don't even know how that's legal.
Give away a bunch of free stuff and not have to charge any taxes.
Well, he is going to try and give away. That's how he's going to make the buses free. Is he's going to
rob the rainy day fund?
I don't understand what he thinks is going to happen.
People are going to move out of the city.
People are going to move. That's what I was going to say. Mr. Wonderful, you know who he is? I'm trying to think what his real name is. Kevin O'Leary. Yeah, the Shark Tank guy. He was on CNN this week on the panel, and I like him. He's smart. He knows his stuff. He's a conservative. So he's the odd man out on the CNN panel. And he was just ripping into Mamdani, and he's like, I live in Miami, and I can't go anywhere without running into somebody from New York. They've all moved down to Florida, which guess what Florida has? No income tax, and they're looking to get rid of property taxes.
Actually, I'd heard that everybody was moving to Texas because of that reason.
Yeah, well, they're also moving to Texas. Now, I think Missouri's getting wise. They're also trying to get rid of income taxes, and they've talked about getting rid of property taxes. So I don't know how that works. Yeah, well, yeah, the red states. Now, my question is, you do have to support some services. You got to have schools. You got to have police. You got to have fire. So nobody's saying we can't support these services. But my biggest thing is just the overall concept of property taxes is that you buy a house, you pay off that house, and then they raise the value of the house, increase the property taxes. You can't afford to pay the property taxes because now you're retired, you have no income, whatever it may be. They come take away your house. So you don't own that house.
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're leasing that house from the government. Always. You never
own it.
Oh, you don't own it.
I mean, right. Yeah.
Never.
Outrageous.
It is outrageous. I was having this conversation with my driver when I was in Jamaica. And it was pretty interesting. I was on a very long drive. It was about a 2.5-hour drive.
Wow.
I was going from one end of the island to another. And he was just nice and talking to me. He was like, do you know the story about all of these half-finished houses? Because if you go to Jamaica, that's what you'll notice. Every house is under construction. And I was like, I don't know, like, tell me what's up. And he was like, well, basically you buy the land when you have the money, and then you build your first room, you build the bedroom and a bathroom. And now you've run out of money again. And then you save up some more money, and then you build the kitchen. And so you're constantly just building onto this house. Now, I'm saying that's the right way to do it.
It's weird. It's interesting.
Because you have all these half-finished houses. It looks weird,
Yeah.
But they're your house. There's no property tax on them. Nobody comes and takes them away. There's no ordinance. No mortgages.
Yeah, so that's why in a fiat system,
right?
We have debt, right? That you issue debt. In a system where you don't have a non-fiat system, you'd have to save for that, right? That's what you're supposed to do.
He said that they were just starting to do car payments in Jamaica. He was like, that was never a thing either, that you always had to buy your car. But now he said these American banks are coming in, I guess.
Well, and also I think to their, like certain countries in general, the cars they drive aren't necessarily in general that nice. They're cheap cars. I mean, some countries.
Man. Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Like some of them are like, 2005, Nissan Sentras. I mean, they're not like, a Lexus or something.
The first time I went to Mexico, all you found were slug bugs, right? Volkswagen Beetles. Not anymore, man. Now it's Escalades and like nice cars.
Are these like the ones you mean that are Ubers?
Down to Cancun.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's everything. People? It's everything. Yeah. I mean, not everybody has a nice car, don't get me wrong, but not everybody has a nice car here. But you see all these luxury dealerships on the strip. You see people are driving nice cars. Now, I still find it weird that a lot of their cars are automatic, that are manual, excuse me. That's the case in Europe.
They're cheaper, I guess. Maybe that's the reason partially. I don't know.
But it's the worst when you're driving and they're just constantly,
well, they're not good at driving one then.
So they don't know how to drive.
I don't know, but there's all these speed bumps, and so they're constantly shifting up and down, and it's never. I was like, get a freaking automatic. Why? I don't understand it. In today's age, every car should be automatic, unless it's some kind of race car.
They just about are.
Right? Yeah, unless you're
Like
buying one
Ferrari.
for fun, right? Well, so that goes back to property taxes. If it's your primary home, like that's different than a secondary home or an investment property, an Airbnb property, So that's kind of where my head's at. Like if this is your house, they shouldn't be able to, and you own it. It's one thing if you have a mortgage, but if you own it, they shouldn't be able to take it away. If it's a secondary house, maybe you have to pay, a vacation home, you pay taxes on that, or an Airbnb home, or
well, obviously, if you have a secondary house or like something like you're talking here, then obviously you can afford the insurance, I guess.
Yep.
The problem with property tax too is that it's basically a tax on unrealized gains. I mean,
so that's that was my next point. And so how is that different than taxing? Well, they don't have unrealized gains on stocks, right? And so that's why it doesn't make sense. So like Elon Musk, right? Of course, he has all this Tesla stock. And now he can go out and do a lot of money with just the fact that he has that stock, even though he's never actually cashed it in.
Use it as collateral. Yeah.
So he uses it as collateral, but they can't tax him on that stock because he hasn't sold it. And the same is true for us on any stock that we made. Until you sell it, they can't tax you on it. Huh?
So like your house. Why can they tax you on it because you're not selling it?
It's the opposite. So they just come by and they say like, oh, well, you bought this house for $400,000, but now we think it's worth $600,000. So your property taxes are going up by 30%. And now you have to pay on that. But it's the complete opposite of the unrealized gains in the stock market.
Well, have you noticed too, though, like even Missouri, your property tax value of your house is way lower than what you'd actually be able to sell it for.
Sure.
And I think they do that on purpose because they don't want people mad.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it like a percentage of what it's actually worth? Why don't they just do a less percentage and actually do what it actually is worth? You know what I mean? Same amount, maybe.
It's weird. They take the assessed value, and then they take, I think it's 19% of that, and that's your, they call it some other value, and then they tax that 19% at 8%.
It's the same for your personal property on your car, because you'll get that, and they'll be like, your car is worth $2,000, and you're like, no, it's not. It's worth $14,000.
No,
but they take 1/3.
33%.
Yeah, 1/3.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, they got to do that to keep it really confusing for people that aren't really aware of it. Everybody guessing.
And so that leads me, and I wasn't necessarily going to bring this up per se, but it fits in a little bit, and this was in our topic last night at Guys Night, was just fucking bureaucracy. Right. And I think that's where they really try and get you. I got my personal property declaration right here that I need to go and freaking do. It's like, oh, I don't do that. If I don't do it by March 1st, I get a fine. Right. My wife,
like how they give it to you 2 weeks before it's due.
I know.
They tell you they're going to fine you $100 if you don't do it.
Yeah. My wife's car, her tags are expired because, we can't just pay it. We have to go get an inspection, and and like that's super annoying.
That was another thing about the inspections, that like they're not going to do the safety inspections on certain cars that are a certain amount of years old now, but they're going to do the emissions.
Doing that a while
back. Who cares about the safety?
If they're less than 10 years old or something, you don't even have to do it.
Yeah, so who cares about the safety though of the cars that are on the highway? But the emissions, that's going to kill people,
Well, and that's a big scam,
that's a bunch
too.
Of horse shit,
I was watching this thing because, of course, you had the Super Bowl, all the private jets that flew in for the Super Bowl. And then you just had this thing, I don't know what it was, that AOC went to, and, a big conference in Geneva or whatever it was, right? And they were like, how much to fly these people out? How much carbon emissions? And I wish I saved it. I might have actually taken a photo.
But they're the elites. They don't,
of course.
They don't care.
One flight is equivalent to like 300,000 commutes for us to go to work.
Sure.
Right. So like they complain.
They need to go to those. They need to tell they need to tell all the peasants what they need to do to fix the globe.
Yeah. What's good for thee is not good for me, or however that saying goes. I don't know.
For thee, but not for me.
Right. Yeah. Al Gore, the guy that came up with this whole the world's gonna end, and he flies all over the place to all of these conferences. Somebody said his house is like 12,000 square feet and has like 8 air conditioners or something like that. Sure. I don't know. It's probably bigger than that.
I mean, they're all crooks. We know it. They're there to steal our money. That's what they're doing.
And that is one thing that Trump comes out and he says, he was like, we're not going to participate in this Green New Deal bullshit. You know, all these other countries aren't abiding by it. And our own people, they fly a plane and like we could drive the car for one car for our entire life. And it would never equal the flights that just AOC or Taylor Swift or Al Gore.
Taylor Swift,
right, exactly. You know?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, so don't get on me about the emissions on my car, right?
No, it's the cows. It's the cow farts.
I also read something about that it literally would take. I can't even put it into words. The cow farts do absolutely nothing.
We need to kill all the cows.
Yes.
The value of your car also should be going down every year because it's depreciating. But yet my taxes went up on my personal property taxes on my truck went up.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think was it last year?
Yeah,
or was
mine
it
went down.
Maybe it was last year. I'm not sure now, but I was like, how?
Yeah, the value on your vehicle should always go down unless you're like at the bottom. They have like a minimum, I think.
But remember also, was it like a couple of years ago? I don't know, 4 probably now at least. Like car values went up, used cars, because something to do with importing or, you know.
It was during COVID.
Everybody's cars went up the value.
Yeah. It was the microchips. They didn't have the microchips to put in the new cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, which caused the delay. Yeah.
And the car values go up, so then therefore your taxes go up.
We need to fix the money. Fix the problem.
Yep, for sure. For sure. All right. Should we move on to local and the Lou?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna go back to soccer, which I'm sure you guys love to hear. Right.
Sure.
But it's a story within a story, which I do think you guys are gonna like. All right. So you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. But I did wear my my City jersey for tonight.
Pink jersey.
City red, as we like to say. It doesn't come off as pink, I don't think, on the screen or whatever.
It doesn't come off like it, but it is. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, it's definitely like not like bright red. It's not a cardinal red. It's a city red.
Say magenta.
Yeah. But
not call it city red because they don't want to call it pink.
Well, you know, so this is the other thing. We got the yellow, we got the navy, and then we got the like light gray in here. So those are our 4 colors. I was talking about this the other week, and now we got the gold coming down the pipeline here.
Can't wait to get one of those gold jerseys.
Well, so I will say a couple things to get this out of the way before we get to our main talking point. So we have our home opener is Saturday. It's a 1:30 game. They are going to wear their away gold jerseys as a thing, I guess, for a couple of reasons, and this will all tie in. But it's the Tina Turner kit, and it's Black History Month. So it's the only game that St. Louis City has at home in the month of February, I think. Yes, it is. And thus it's the only time they can celebrate Black History Month. Fine. So they're going to wear.
The only time you're allowed to celebrate Black history is in February. Otherwise, you can't do it.
Yeah. Well,
it's illegal.
That's more than some other people get to celebrate their history. So 1:30, sold out crowd, national spotlight game, I think.
Who we playing?
Energizer Park, City Park. We are playing Charlotte FC. So, we'll see. I don't know how we're going to do this year. It's a complete crapshoot. We have a new coach, a new director of sporting, whatever, new players, got rid of our best goal scorer, haven't replaced them, so we don't have any real good goal scorers.
That you know.
So,
how's the pitch looking? Is the pitch looking nice?
Well, I don't know. I hope so. I'm sure it is.
I think it's level, I think.
They do a good job with the pitch. I did have some
nice grass. I got to admit it.
It is nice grass.
Beautiful.
They do a good job. The one thing that I critiqued, maybe was it 2 years ago and maybe a little bit last year, was I felt like they were overwatering with the sprinklers. And I think the very first game there were like puddles because they water it before the game, halftime.
Is that to slow the ball down or what?
Yeah, slows the ball down. And so I think it was the first game last year. I said this I think I was with my brother, and I said, watch out for this because it's going to slow the ball down. And literally the first minute of the game, the other team tried to play a ball back. It got caught in the water. Klaus stepped into one, hit it off the crossbar. But of course, the other team was like, "Wait a minute, that ball shouldn't have just stopped in the middle of the pitch," But also, I don't know. So we'll see. I hope they kind of fix the sprinkler system a little bit. But the stadium is cool.
That's home field advantage. Definitely,
that. Yeah, home field advantage. Yeah. But I do love the stadium. The American Authors are playing the pregame. You guys know them, I'm sure, but their biggest song is "Best Day of My Life." And it was one of Caroline and I's wedding songs. So
kids got it on their Spotify playlist.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great song. I actually just saw them live at a industry work event that I was at. They had hired the band to come down, and actually I got a shout out because somebody told them that it was my wedding song. So I don't know. I might go down and try and talk to them at the city game. Be like, "You remember me from that work event?" They're no idea.
Would you guys like to come on a podcast?
There you go. that could be my in there, man. So I'll probably go down and see that. Last year was the Struts, which I love the Struts. They're really good. That was fun. So it's a free concert. So I think City's doing a good job there, so American.
That makes sense to do that. And kind of, increase your attendance,
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think they're going to have a problem getting people at the game, are they?
No. It'll be sold out, now the ticket prices are interesting, and I have season tickets. The first year I could sell my tickets for a profit. The second year is about break even. Last year, and of course we've been bad the last couple of years, but last year I didn't want to sell my tickets. I'd rather give them away.
Does that mean the prices of your season tickets went down?
No. Now I'm locked into 3-year deals, so they haven't gone up much. So I've been pretty lucky there. That because if you went in on a 1-year deal, they could raise ticket prices whatever they wanted. But on a 3-year deal, they were maxed at like 1.5% per year, and they didn't even raise them every year, right? So yeah.
When your 3-year deal is up, do you get to renew for another 3?
That's what I did. That's what I did. So I think this is my first year on the new deal. You kind of do it a year ahead so that you kind of pay for your tickets in advance, basically. So we're 3 years in. Yeah. So this is my first year on the new 3-year deal, I think. So,
yeah. Looking back, I kind of wish I would have put my name in to try and get some of those, because I think it would have been nice to have.
For sure. And I think at this point, you probably still have an opportunity. Because people have dropped out. They've dropped out because of the cost and some other factors, for sure.
Oh, they're losing. They're no good.
Let me tell you my story about putting this in. It's a pretty good story. So I was working from home the day that they were released. So I had the alarm set. You had to put your name in. You had to put a deposit down. And so I was ready to go. I was logged on. As soon as these deposits were down, my information's going in. Well, right off the bat, their website crashed. Right off the bat. And so then I'm like, what the F? What am I going to do? So luckily, I hopped on their Twitter, and they gave an alternate URL. But if you didn't hop on their Twitter, you didn't get season tickets. Nope, you're done. So I hopped on their Twitter. They gave the alternate URL. I hopped on the URL, got my name in, and then they ask you what type of tickets you're interested in getting. And they had all these different suite options. You had to put down a higher deposit, $200, $400. General admission, which is what I wanted, just regular seats.
Yeah.
$50 deposit, nothing. Or supporter section, right, which is standing and the drums and all that. I didn't want that. I want to be able to bring the kids to the game, and you don't want necessarily that atmosphere every game. So I was like, I want a seat, $50. Put down the deposit, get my name in, and it all goes by timestamp, right? I was done at like 2 minutes and 12 seconds. That was my timestamp. The whole thing completed. I was like, that's pretty good. I'm feeling good about this, because I felt like I was fast. The website,
the Twitter thing,
yeah. So bunch of time goes by. I don't even know, like 9 months, because this is years before they start playing. Yeah. And I get a call, and they're like, we've got your deposit. I just want to let you know you're on the border. I'm like,
really?
I'm on the border at 2 minutes? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And they're like,
Not
so we're gonna be back in touch. And I'm like, okay. But here's what they did, and this is sneaky. So they hadn't released the prices of the tickets. So you put your deposit down, but you didn't know how much they were going to cost. Well, let's say somebody put down that they wanted a suite or the Ultra Club, and they put down a $200 deposit. And then they released the price of the tickets, and the people are like, "Well, I can't afford that." Yeah. And well, you weren't
regular
kicked
seats
out.
Now.
They bump you down.
So they were like, "Oh, well, we already have your $200.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just going to put you at the top of the general admission list."
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting bumped down. So these people, just because I would have put down a $200, $400 deposit, that wouldn't have
way more than
fazed
that.
me. Right. Yeah. It was the fact that, so I don't know. I got the tickets, but I didn't get the seats that I wanted. They're good seats. You guys have sat them. They're not bad seats.
Yeah, I thought they were good.
But it is what it is. I thought it was a little
I showed you where my brother-in-law's
giving money.
Parents got tickets right there. I think they're midfield. Like 14 rows up or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
so that
really
I'm 14
nice.
rows up. I'm on the 18-yard line. At the
although I
kind of
like where your seats are because you're closer to a goal. So it's
a
little more fun.
It's definitely fun when there's a penalty kick. When we're attacking for sure in that section, like that side of the field, like if we score a lot of goals, it's a lot of fun. And I'm on the opposite side of the supporter section, so we have a little bit of breathing room, that kind of a thing. But
do they always,
good
I guess,
seats.
Start on the same side every game?
No, it's up to the coin toss.
I guess it's coin toss. Yeah, if they could pick.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. They could pick the side. They could pick the ball. So the thing is when we were younger, of course, you picked based on like the wind. Well, that's not really an issue because the way the stadium's built.
Yeah.
There's no
the
real
sun.
wind. And, maybe the sun. Sun plays a factor at times. But we're east to west, right? So it's better than if the stadium were flipped, I guess, north-south, you'd have way worse shadows probably. So I don't know. All right. Well, here's the controversy. So it is, like I said, Black History Month. So what they did, St. Louis City decided they weren't going to allow all of these flags that support social justice causes at the matches. So
who decided that?
St. Louis City, the club, the team. And it's the right decision. But in previous years, everybody, all these supporter groups would bring in their flags.
Pride flags and things?
Pride flag, trans flags.
Those are my biggest complaints of the game.
Black Lives Matter flags, that kind
all the
of
controversy.
Thing. Yeah. But, soccer tends to have an accepting culture, a progressive culture in the U.S. at least, for sure.
Well, yeah.
You get especially a lot of hipsters, that are into soccer. They couldn't play it.
Right.
They were never athletes, but for whatever reason, they latched on to soccer, and that's fine. Anybody that loves the game is great, and I have nothing against that. But the problem is that it wasn't necessarily an equal opportunity. I wasn't allowed to bring in my Police Lives Matter or All Lives Matter or my Trump flag. So that was the thing. Last year, there was a guy, and this went national news, so you guys might have seen it. He got kicked out of the stadium, the St. Louis City Energizer Park, for wearing a MAGA hat.
I do remember that.
A MAGA hat, not a flag.
Not a flag, just a hat. Just a MAGA hat,
That sounds like no freedom of speech.
Everybody.
No.
Right.
No.
And there are certain groups.
What they said is that they don't allow political messaging. So they said that they would have kicked somebody out with a Biden hat too. But of course, the argument from
nobody has a Biden hat, so they would never.
Right? They don't have to worry about that, right? But the argument from the right is that all of the flags that are being brought in, trans flag, pride flags, BLM flags, all have a political message.
Sure.
Whether you like it or not.
For sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the supporter groups are pissed. They are not happy with this new policy. And they always talk about exactly what you said, Doug. Being
so sad.
Who cares?
There's a huge trans following of in soccer in general. I mean, it's huge.
So they are allowing the Black Lives Matter flag for this game and this game only. So I said to my wife, I was like, well, can I bring my my neck scarf that is the blue flag or whatever?
How about your All Lives Matter
flag,
shirt?
My right. I don't know that one, I don't want to cause trouble. Two, I don't want to get kicked out of the game. I want to go to the game.
Right.
But I'm half tempted to test the waters and see, are they
if you do have freedom of speech?
Yeah. Right. Well, I have freedom of speech, I guess, but that doesn't mean that. No, but I've got Trump koozies. I've got.
I think you should, do something.
Yeah, I could totally bring a Trump koozie. That's easy. They could just tell you to put it away. But
my dad's got a MAGA hat you can borrow.
Yeah,
it's
I
red.
got my Police Lives Matter face mask, but we're not wearing face masks anymore. But I do have that.
See, they wouldn't know what to do if you did that.
Yeah,
actually,
if you were a guy still wearing a face mask,
yeah,
and you went to the game, they wouldn't know what to think.
Yeah,
and it said Police Lives Matter. What is this guy trying to do?
For sure,
COVID's over.
I have a Trump shirt. I have Trump socks. So not everybody's going to see that. I don't know. So,
but you'll know who you're supporting.
You'll know.
Right.
Wear your Trump underwear.
I don't know that I have Trump underwear. The other thing that people are saying, and then we can kind of move on from this, they have a new sponsorship with Boeing this year. And so some people are saying that Boeing put pressure on them to get rid of this, and they're also doing a salute now for a military vet every game, which the Blues do, but City hasn't necessarily done that every game. They've done some special things, but so now that's gonna be a big thing. Of course, it's corporate, it's local, it's big money, brand alignment, all that stuff. And now I don't know if you guys heard this. This is also kind of local in the Lou. The Boeing defense manufacturing is moving back to St. Louis. They just
my boss said something about that.
Yeah, so that's maybe time to buy some more Boeing stock.
Where did I see that Boeing was pulling out of somewhere? Where were they leaving?
Virginia, I think, actually.
Yeah, it was Virginia. I think it was Virginia. Yeah.
So
they used to be here, all the new taxes and stuff.
They moved there and then they moved back.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, and of course they have a history here in St. Louis, and they still have operations here. So yeah. Nice.
But you see how those socialist policies out in Virginia are just driving business out.
And hey, we talked about that a couple of podcast episodes ago, all those crazy new taxes, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to drive businesses out. What happens when businesses go? So do the jobs, and then so do the people, and so does the money.
Well, it's kind of the beauty of the United States too, right? Is because you have the ability to do that. You can have your state, you can run it the way you want, and the businesses in that state and the people can make a decision to stay, or they can leave your state but stay in the United States, right? They're still staying in the country but leaving the state, and that's the beauty of it, really.
And it is pretty crazy when you look at old electoral maps and stuff like that, and you see California red, and
for
Texas
a long time
was a swing
red
state, right? Yeah, and so clearly you've seen things change, and so when
Florida used to go Democrat all the time, it was a swing state for a long time, and now it's pretty solid red.
Yeah, so 30 years from now, right, when we're retired and might be our last election, who knows? It's quite possible that that a lot of these states have completely flipped from what we know them as today. We'll see. The Democrats are trying to flip Texas. Florida used to be a swing state. It's pretty much locked in red now, which is huge.
Yeah.
So
the problem is you have all these people from California and New York
moving to places
like that, and how are they going to vote when they go there? They're going to vote the same policies.
What's crazy. Right. And Joe Rogan's talked about that and he was one of them. People that have moved from California to Texas, Elon Musk, all these people, they moved to Texas, but then they moved because of the laws and the regulations and all that crap in California, but then they come and they vote blue, they vote Democrat in these states, and they're like, well, what do you it's just going to same thing's going to happen.
Well, I'm sure Rogan and Elon Musk didn't.
Well, they're bad examples because of course they are not voting blue, but I don't know, Joe Rogan.
But I think they maybe
I think they all voted for Trump, but in the future, who knows what they would do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just can you at least see the error of the ways that your state that you left, those policies is what destroyed those states.
Exactly.
And it's what causes people to leave. So don't try to institute the same policies in the new state you go to.
Well, and I think if Gavin Newsom wins the Democratic whatever I can't think of the word. I want to say sponsorship.
Nominee.
Right. Nomination. Thank you.
Candidate or whatever.
I think that's what you have to go after them for, is all the people there. There's a exodus from California for a reason, and it ain't the weather.
There is nobody in politics that looks sleazier than Gavin Newsom.
Yeah,
he looks like the sleazy. I'm just saying, he looks like the sleaziest car salesman you've ever seen.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does. Yeah, and
that's the truth.
He banged his best friend's wife, and then was all like, "Oh, I feel really bad about it."
Well, and speaking of the rules for thee and not for me, remember when he had all the COVID policies that he instituted?
Yeah.
And then he was at the
he was at the restaurants.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
No, it's for us. It's okay. We don't need masks. We can go out to eat, but everybody else has to stay home and quarantine.
Yeah.
For sure. All right.
Frustrating.
We skipped the wheel last week.
Yeah.
So I got a couple of stories here. And you know what? I added another one, and I forgot to add it to the wheel.
Well, I think we talked about the green one, right? Isn't that the Energizer Park?
Got to edit it. Which one? No, I got another one for Energizer Park. Another story. Yeah, it's a different story. So let's see.
But you did that on purpose.
That's the one I just added.
Just
added it. I don't know. All right.
So are these illegal aliens?
Aliens, illegal aliens. No, this is the real kind of aliens.
The ones that Obama was talking about.
Well, I got to find it. I think I added it. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, the ones that Obama was talking about. And so there's more to the story now. So I know we talked about this a little bit probably the other day, but I've learned some new stuff. So first and foremost, Obama was on this podcast, right? And
I think I got the podcast.
He was on the Brian Tyler Cohen's podcast, and
that could have been ours.
It could have been, Damn I think we would have been better than this guy's, because this guy asked.
I would actually be okay with that. I would bring Obama on the podcast. Sure. He wanted to come on. Give him. Let him speak his mind on our podcast.
I think Obama's a cool guy. I think he'd be a fun hang.
Yeah.
I think
especially if he knows about aliens.
Drink some beer, especially if he knows about aliens. We could really get on him about his policies and healthcare and all of that crap. But I think he'd be cool to hang out with.
I think he'd be fun to talk to.
Yeah, for sure.
He's president for 8 years.
Yeah, right. Well, of course. Yeah. I'm sure he would love to come on this podcast. I'll send an invitation. Yeah. I'll have ChatGPT work it up.
We'll reach out to his people.
Yeah. Our people is ChatGPT, right? Yeah. I wonder if I could put in a prompt, like write up this invitation that guarantees that Obama says yes.
Guarantees.
And like, what is Chat gonna say?
I can't guarantee this.
Right? Maybe. Yeah. Like, good luck. I'll try my best.
So what did he actually say?
All right. So the question that this guy asked, I guess Brian Tyler Cohen, asked him, "Are aliens real?" And Obama's answer was, "They're real. Now, I've never seen one, and they're not being held at Area 51, but they're real." And then the follow-up question was not great. What was the one question you wanted answered when you became president? And Obama's reply was, "Where are the aliens?"
Yeah.
Right. Which is great. I mean, it's comedic gold. It's funny. Yeah. It's relevant. People want to know.
But if he asked that question whenever he became, then what was the answer then?
Well, right. So here's the thing. So
sworn to secrecy.
This journalist or this podcaster, I don't know if he's an actual journalist. Maybe he's like us. I wouldn't call us journalists.
Yeah.
But he didn't ask anything further. He just switched topics. I'm like, well, Obama, the president of the United States, just said that they're real. Like, okay, they're not being held at Area 51. Then how do you know they're real?
Area 52.
Yeah, right. What evidence
they're in the basement of the White House.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Actually, isn't he one? Isn't he an alien?
Yeah, he's a reptilian.
That's how he knows.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
They're not in the basement of the White House. They're in the Oval Office.
Wasn't he? Where was he born anyway?
Hawaii, wasn't it?
No, wasn't it from like some African country?
He was born in Hawaii. We're not going to go down that conspiracy. His dad was born in Kenya.
Kenya. That's what I was trying to think.
His mom is American, also Hawaiian, I'm pretty sure.
Well, I did see a conspiracy theory on X a while ago where somebody had taken his birth certificate that was released, and they found that there was a bunch of different what do you call this, layers to it in the whatever the digital document,
right?
The digital document,
right?
And you could clearly see how it was manipulated. I don't know how true all that is, allegedly.
Yeah,
but
it's one of those things that
there's a lot of mystery surrounding his past.
I have to think that if he didn't have a real birth certificate or wasn't, like, somebody would have like actually figured it out and been able to prove it in the 12 years that he was running for president or was president, right?
Why was it such a controversy to get it, though?
Well, probably the same reason that Trump hasn't released his tax returns. I don't know.
Yeah, but do you think Trump would have released his birth certificate? I feel like that should be a requirement. If you have to be a U.S. citizen to be president.
Maybe it is, but maybe just not to the general public.
Yeah, but why would it matter? Like, if everybody's asking, just show it.
Maybe he did have to show it.
Well, why was there a controversy in the voting stations? The last election. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean,
always a controversy.
It's not like there's any fraud or anything. I mean,
and the problem is they try to tell you don't ask questions. Asking the question gets you, ostracized.
Well, that is a relatively new thing.
Asking a question.
Yes, that is a COVID thing. I think. I guess when Trump was asking the questions, maybe it got a little deep about Obama's birth certificate, and people were like, "Come on!" But in general, the asking questions, like, "Oh, does this 6-foot thing, does that really work? Oh, you're a racist for asking that question." How dare you? Like, no. Should I really get this vaccine? Is it going to guarantee, like? You're right. You were ostracized. You were fired from your jobs. You were silenced.
Well, the funny thing about
canceled.
That is Jordan Peterson was actually talking about that because Fauci had come out originally and said, the masks are worthless.
You
don't need to wear a mask. And then a week later said you do.
He even talked about wearing 2 masks at one point.
And then the 6-foot thing came out, and Jordan Peterson was talking about how if he would have just said, no, the masks aren't going to do any good. The 6-foot thing is bogus. Well, that would have actually helped save more lives than saying wear a mask and stay 6 foot apart, because now you've given people that probably are a high risk, this sense of false sense of security that, if I wear a mask and I stay 6 foot apart, I'll be okay.
I'll be fine.
Really, they should have isolated themselves and they should have never been there.
Right. Well, it's like they did those studies.
More harm than good.
They did those studies on the plastic screens that they were putting up at restaurants and grocery stores, and that was the worst possible thing that you could do, apparently. So
wear your mask in the restaurant because COVID is up here, but then you sit down and you're below the COVID.
Eat. Right.
Yeah, you can take your mask off down there.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, where was I? So he had to come out the next day because, of course, this went viral. So he had to come out the next day. And then his statement was pretty lame. It was like, space is a vast space.
We don't know what's
the
out
final
there.
Frontier.
Right. Right. Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking of. And I'm sure that there's aliens, but not here. Well, I think people are like, wait a minute, dude. Like, I don't think that's what you were talking about.
Totally changed.
Well, so then somebody asked, Peter Doocy actually asked Trump about it. And so Trump's reply was, well, he is releasing classified information right there. He took that information from classified documents, and he's not supposed to do that.
Obama did?
Well, that's what Trump is saying. So Trump is saying that he's seen these classified documents and that Obama just said something classified that he's not supposed to do, essentially confirming that aliens are real. So then Peter Doocy asked a follow-up. I think he asked, like, well, are there aliens? And he said, well, I have my own thoughts about this. I'm not necessarily going to get into it, but maybe one day I'll save Obama's butt and I'll release those classified documents. Right? So he's being all cryptic, but saying, like, maybe I'll have those unclassified. Then there's a third aspect to this. Laura Trump was on a podcast and she got asked about it. And she said, of course, we all had those questions, and we asked, Donald about it, and he was very wishy-washy, wouldn't really commit one way or another. And then she said that Trump has a speech that is prepared and written to disclose all the information about the aliens that he will give when the time is right.
So confirming that there are aliens. Or
that's the
basically
word on the street. Yeah, that's the word on the street.
Word in the space.
I mean, at this point, my probability is that it's probably 90% that they're here.
Yeah.
Though they're here.
Some form, yeah.
Now, I think Trump said something like we haven't, as far as he knows, we haven't made contact.
But he did say that.
Like this UAP stuff is real. UFOs. That's the new term for UFOs. I was like, what? UAP.
I was thinking EMP.
Why did they got to change it?
I know. Aerial phenomenon now. Instead of flying object, is aerial phenomenon.
Because a UFO is not necessarily an alien. Right?
Well,
because they don't know.
Yeah. Right.
It's
unidentified. That
sure.
could be a lot of things. Well, yeah, that could be a drone. So I think now it's unexplained aerial phenomenon, right?
Because it is identified.
Right. It's identified as something.
Right.
Yeah. So that's kind of what Trump is saying, maybe, that there's stuff out there. We don't know what it is. We've determined maybe somewhere, somebody determined that it's aliens, but we just haven't actually talked to them.
Maybe
we haven't captured any.
Maybe Epstein's an alien.
Well, what are your chances?
He's a reptilian for sure.
What are your chances of capturing an alien?
Well, it would have to be like Roswell. It'd have to be the crash, and maybe they're alive, maybe they're dead, but
they're good enough to fly across the galaxy, but they're going to crash when they get here. I don't think so.
No. Well, there's a thing about this. So flying across the galaxy in theory is easy. You're going through space. Space is wide open. There's no friction. You get to the Earth, now you have atmospheric pressure, winds, lightning storms.
They weren't planning for that.
Radiation.
They didn't know. They're stupid.
Right. Yeah, it could be all of these things.
Stupid
they got to running away from our planes, our fighter jets.
Yeah, like what the crap is that thing?
Right. Yeah.
There's aliens on this planet.
They make mistakes.
It's a plane. It's Superman.
Yep. Exactly. So it's possible. It's a lot harder to crash in space, I think, than it would be in the atmosphere of a planet.
I would assume so.
I'd say that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
Did we talk about Project Hail Mary yet on this podcast?
No.
Have you guys seen the preview for this movie yet?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I read this book.
For it. You read the book? I read the book.
Yeah, is this when they had to go out and he meets the robot alien?
Well, he's not a robot, but he's like
whatever it was. There's some alien
that thinks and moves and
yeah. It's the same guy that did The Martian.
Yeah, he helps him rebuild his ship or something, and
he's trying to save his kid or something. He's trying to save the Earth.
Yeah.
And based on a true story.
It was a good book. True story.
The book was really good. True story. I think the movie is going to be good. It's clocking in at 2 hours and 36 minutes.
Who's in it?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling. Yeah, he's really the only.
I don't know who else, but
a couple of other people, but he is the.
It's only like a one-man show, right? And then the alien.
It looks kind of like in the preview.
That's how the book is.
Certainly, the whole second half of the book is the first half of the book is set up, and actually it's flashbacks.
So he goes to space by himself.
I really enjoyed that book. Yeah. No, wasn't he with a team? I thought he was with a group, but they all died.
Yeah, but they all died. He was the only one.
Not to ruin.
Sorry for the spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Right.
Yeah. No, but this is gonna be a good one. This will be a good one. About alien, I guess.
Had you guys never seen, but like I remember this preview, it was weird. It was a couple years ago. It was Adam Sandler, and he went into space and like this weird like spider thing. It's kind of reminded me of that, even though I didn't see the movie because
I never saw the movie either. Yeah, I don't know that it got great reviews because it was a serious movie. First of all, it was not a comedy.
Serious, but still weird. A spider in space, and it can like read his thoughts or something. I don't know.
Something about Adam Sandler and serious movies just doesn't really go.
You know what though? I really liked Uncut Gems, which was a serious movie.
That was a weird movie. He did good.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I liked it.
I guess I'll have to watch it. No.
Yeah, he's like a diamond. He's like a diamond.
Yeah.
He's not a
preview for it, but
he's like a sleazeball. He's a sleazeball
reseller kind of guy. In a gambler,
how about the movie? I haven't seen it still, but I've heard I need to. Interstellar. It's old, but it's Matthew McConaughey.
That's
Similar type of movie.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I need a rewatch of that one. Of course, I saw it maybe once or twice when it came out, but
that'll bend your mind a little bit. About that one.
Yes, it's really cool, and
it's like a 3-hour movie too, isn't it? It's a long one.
2 hours and 49 minutes. I think I looked it up.
Yeah, it's a long one.
It's a good one. It's worth it.
For sure.
I like The Martian though. That was actually just as long, almost 2.5 hours at least.
Yeah,
kind of slow sometimes, but like I thought it was good.
Well, and they cut out a lot of that book.
That book is great too.
The book is great. I read that one. Now I didn't read his Andy. I'm trying to. What's his last name?
Andy Weir.
Weirner. I never read his second book, Artemis. I think it's called.
That was a good one too.
Yeah, you read that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll read it because it didn't get as good of reviews, and
it's not as good as The Martian,
into a movie, but
it's worth listening to.
Yeah,
I think that was the one on the moon, right?
I don't know.
I think it has. It's like they have moon.
Maybe that'll. I'm looking for a book right now, so I think maybe that'll be the one that I'll check out. What was I going to say along the same lines? I lost it. Oh, Ready Player 2. What's happening with that? I want to see. I read that book. I want to see that movie. Did you ever read? Yeah. Did you ever read the book? Because I told you about it. You said that you saw the movie. Did you ever go back? Because the book is so much better than the movie.
Ready Player 1 or Ready Player 2?
Yes. Ready Player 1.
Okay. Did they make it 2?
They made. He wrote a book, Ready Player 2, which was not nearly as good.
That one, I don't think I read that one, but I read the first one. And I did watch. I've seen the movie too.
Yeah. The movie was good, but they changed it. The
book's way better.
Yeah, book's way better. But I think they're making a Ready Player 2 movie. And then he also, I might have it right here. He has another book. I do, Armada. If you want another good book to read, that's a good one.
Can't remember if I read that one or not. I don't know if I did.
That's the one where it's a guy. He's really good at video games in this particular video game, and it turns out that
I've read that one too.
You did read it. It was a real. They were training him for an alien invasion.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't as good.
Not as good as Ready Player 1, but I also thoroughly enjoyed it.
I don't know why that just reminded me of the other Adam Sandler movie. I'm sure you've seen it. Pixel.
Yeah,
I don't know that I did.
That's the one with the emojis, right?
Yeah. Well, there's the emoji movie, so don't get confused with that one.
Okay, well maybe not then.
Yeah.
I'm not positive.
Pixel is different than emoji movie.
Okay, so no.
Yeah. I've watched Emoji Movie with the kids, and that was pretty good.
Maybe I don't know.
For a kid movie.
I don't know.
It was Kevin James was in it too. He was like the president or something like that, but they had to go back and like fight these bad guys in like old video games or something like that. I don't.
Yeah,
it was
I
weird,
think that's
but
Pixel. I think that's
Pixel. Definitely.
Yeah. I might have to check that one out. Did you see? Because I was trying to watch with the kids the other day the Minecraft movie, but they weren't interested.
They didn't like it.
They didn't. We didn't watch it. They didn't want to watch it.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
You think they're too young still a little bit?
No, Kat did want to watch it because the boys in her class, all they do is talk about it.
So then wouldn't you want to know what they're talking about,
Yeah, I know. Well, so Kat went into school the other day and asked her boyfriends, right? Friends that are boys or whatever, if they like Story of the Year.
Yeah.
And they were like no. They replied back with no, they suck. And I guess it hurt. Well, exactly. It hurt Kat's feelings, and she was telling me about it. I was like, honey, they don't even know who they are. You were way cooler than they are, for even knowing who they are. And
stay away from those stupid boys.
Right. I was like, they didn't want to be embarrassed because you were cooler than they were.
That's truth right there.
Yeah. All right. Anything? Do you guys got anything before we wrap it up? We're at 90 minutes right now, pretty much. We're doing good. Any other topics? I know, Dudge, you're off of social media, which is going to make this tough.
Taking the break for Lent. We're 2 days in, so got 45 more to go.
I'm sure you will do it. You were strong-willed, but I said this is really going to screw up the promotion of the podcast.
Well, and I thought about that.
And
once you post it, I can still. I'll just post it. I won't get on there and do anything.
Do a quick retweet or something.
Just do a quick post and exit.
Doesn't
so
count.
You don't have anything extra then that you know
if you don't go down the rabbit hole, then it's fine.
Right. Yeah. It just, if you're not taking hours of your day scrolling through all that, that's really what I wanted to get rid of, is not doing that.
Yeah.
Sure.
And honestly,
I get that.
The last 2 days, I feel like has been much better just not having that around, because it's just so like all the news and everything that's on X, which is like
that's what I was going to say though.
News.
Where do you get your news?
Dark,
of course.
But where are you going to get your news now? Are you
from the group chat from us?
Kind of, the group chat, or are you going to cut it out?
You to step your game up.
My thing is I watch all the news. What I don't have the time to do a lot is to post about it in the group chat.
Yeah.
I'm too busy working or doing things. Every now and then I just doom scroll and I'll share all these stories. And I don't know if you guys are reading them or not.
Sometimes depends.
Sometimes depends on how busy you are, right?
I try to.
Depends how long the video is.
Yeah. I hopped on. Yeah, the video. That's true.
I was gonna say, I saw that. I get on the Gateway Pundit and read some of that, like the news stories. So that's, I think, where I saw. Actually, I typed into Google today the Epstein files just to see what new news was going to be on Google.
Prince Andrew. We didn't talk about
the Prince Andrew thing was the first thing that popped up, and I was like, I bet X is probably blowing up with all this right now.
Yeah.
And I'm missing it.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting though, and I didn't do enough research, but he didn't get arrested for like pedophilia or anything like that. He got arrested for sharing basically classified information.
Yeah.
Now, my understanding is as a high tiered royal, that doing anything like that is essentially a life sentence.
Used to get you the guillotine, I think.
Well, used to. Yeah.
Maybe they should bring that back.
Well, that was the French, really.
That's true. That's the French. What the British do? They
firing
just
squad,
draw and quarter you, right?
Ooh, that's pretty bad.
Send all the pieces to different parts of the country to warn everybody.
Tar and feather you.
Yeah. I got banned on X for like 2 weeks.
Shut up.
Yeah. For Keir Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, whoever it is.
I don't know.
He's the Prime Minister. He's the
I should know. The guy that took over for Boris. That's probably the last one I know of.
And he had said something on there, and I had commented like, something about they ought to tar your people should drag you out and tar and feather you, right? Which I don't think is
nothing crazy.
Like nobody tars and feathers anybody this day and age.
But if you can't go to England anymore, you're done.
Apparently, you can't say that.
Oh man!
They said that was promoting violence, and I was like, well, sometimes violence is
needed. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to England, they'll arrest you. You're done.
I don't plan on going.
All right.
Screw them. Not until they get a good president over there.
Hopefully they don't get wind of this podcast. Otherwise they'll arrest me when I
feel bad. I feel real bad for the people of Europe, especially in the UK. They are struggling over there because they have some leaders that are, let's call them communists, is basically what they are.
Sure.
They have no rights. You can't say anything. You go straight to jail.
Marco,
they put you in jail.
Yeah. We were talking about this last week.
There was many stories. Well, many stories of women that have been assaulted, raped, and then they say something demeaning about the perpetrator. That he's an illegal, shouldn't be here, go back to his, country, Muslim, whatever, and they got more jail time than the person that did the assaulting. How?
I saw this video on X the other day, and they were like, "This pretty much sums up society right now." And it was a soccer video. And it was Modric. Not that I expect you guys to know who he was, but he's a white guy of Croatian descent. He plays for the Croatian national team. Great soccer player. But he's white, right? Mm-hmm. And he's playing in his league, and something happens or whatever. Well, some guy from the other team, a black guy, comes and shoves him and gives him a good push. Well, Modric doesn't like it. So then he kind of goes up and gets in the black guy's face, and the referee comes over and gives Modric the yellow card. The white guy. And people are like, "Well, wait a minute!
He's a racist.
Like all he's doing is reacting to him getting pushed, right?"
But the ref didn't see that, probably, or something.
Sums up society. Oh, the ref saw it.
Oh, he didn't. Okay.
He saw it. He was standing right there. He was in the frame the whole time.
Okay.
So it's not like he came running out and you were like, oh, maybe you missed it. No, it was obvious. You know. So maybe now I don't know the context. I wasn't watching the whole game. Maybe there was something else going on.
You could
there,
have said something, maybe.
Yeah.
You didn't hear it.
But exactly.
You know.
I thought it was funny nonetheless.
Fuck you and the ref.
Right.
All right, that's a yellow.
That's it. You're out of here.
All right. I'll plug my beer. I am doing a double dry hopped Fallen Flag IPA.
There you go.
I've seen that before.
Yeah, I picked this up.
Who is it?
I don't think that it's local. Let me see if I can figure out. Oh no, it is Florissant, Missouri.
Yeah, who is it? What's it called?
Narrow Gauge Brewing
That's
Company.
Yeah.
Narrow Gauge. And it's pretty high alcohol content, I think. 7%. Yeah. Pretty good. How were you feeling, Duds, last night after
drinking my LMNT water with out of my Stanley thermos here?
You probably needed the day off because you were drinking those 22-ounce IPAs last night. 3 of them.
Driving home, I was like, I feel pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Not drunk or anything, just like
right. Yeah.
It's feeling good.
Yeah.
It's like it's nice, you know.
Well, three.
So then I got home and I was
basically 6 beers, man.
Did not sleep good.
Yeah.
It's like it's not used to it.
I didn't sleep good last night because my room was too warm.
It was a little bit warm. I thought about actually cracking the window, I think, in our room.
Yeah. My window's cracked right now, hoping that it cools it down and then I can close it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard murmurings upstairs that she wanted to turn the AC on. I said, no, you could just open the windows.
It's going to be the high of 45 tomorrow. So there's no AC happening.
Yeah.
So.
Can't believe it was another gorgeous day, though. And it was nice walking the dog. It was beautiful out.
Yeah.
Like, it would have been a great night for a fire or something.
Yeah. We're close.
Might be a little bit wet, but
I'm ready to put the outdoor TV back up, get the fire going, watch a soccer game. That's for
football, you mean? Football game?
Football. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, nothing else?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Let's call it. I think we did pretty good. 1 hour and 40 minutes.
Let's not bore everybody and get them up to 2.5 hours again.
Absolutely. That was a little much. You know, Nilla and I were talking. We were falling asleep on the freaking pod. Like time to
just about. I was like,
time to call
what
it.
Happened? I thought we were ending this half an hour ago, and then 15 minutes, and then here we go.
Well, this is what we just start talking. You know, we get on another time. It's just like guys' night. We didn't go too long last night, but we were definitely. And then we sit out in the parking lot for another 20 minutes.
Yeah,
I will say there's just something a lot better about being in person. Like seeing on the videos, fine, but like talking to people in person, it just can't beat it.
Well,
you know?
If we ever make any money, I keep getting ads on Facebook or whatever for these little. I don't know how big they are actually, but it's basically 4 mics in one, and you set it in the middle of the room, and then it records all 4 audio feeds separately, just like we are here.
Sure.
But we could be in person, and you don't all have to have individual mics. I don't think so. I think it just sits there, and it's supposed to be really good. And I don't know how it does it, but AI
probably something to do with the tone or something like with your voice specifically. Like it knows you, it picks up just you.
Right. It might tell you to sit in different corners so it can kind of,
Or maybe you talk to it and it recognizes your voice.
Maybe.
Like you said, Greg AI or something. And then
it's got to be something like that.
And it can
voice recognition. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. Maybe we make some money. I'll invest in one of that. And, next guy's night will just be a podcast.
You invest first, then you make the money. That's
it's
how
a write-off.
Yeah. You got to write it off.
It is a write-off. Yeah. For now. I don't know how long I can continue writing off losses, though. Like eventually the government's
unrealized, unrealized losses.
You know how many years Netflix operated at a loss?
Sure. Yeah.
Years.
Yeah. Right.
That's like a lot of big corporations, right? In the first 5 years at least, or something.
Yeah.
Usually those early years and then into their growth.
They might operate at a loss, but they also have income on the books.
Well,
I have no revenue on the books. It's
zero revenue, zero profit.
Yes, straight losses.
Just put down some revenue. Like, just make it up. Just put it down there.
We just need Bobcat Man.
Money.
We just need one sponsorship. Yeah. St. Louis City Story of the Year.
Narrow Gauge.
Gavin Newsom.
Kevin
Obama. What did you say, Nilla?
Obama? Narrow Gauge, the beer.
Narrow Gauge. Local House, which sponsored our guys' night last night. They don't know that they sponsored guys' night.
It's true, yeah.
But they did.
Yeah. It was 4 guys, but
right. Yeah. All right, I'm hitting stop. Thanks to our listeners. Like, subscribe, follow, check out the blog.
See ya.
This number has been disconnected.